Okay, let's see. So TestNg is one of the main unit testing automation framework. We can say unit testing or testing automation framework, right? With the help of TestNg, we can write the test cases. So it would be very helpful to write the test cases, right? So, and we have the test annotations. Different things are there with the TestNg. That is one of the thing. First priority is far most important one is test annotations. What is that? Test annotations. To design your automation framework or to design the workflow of your automation test suite, so this would be this automation test annotation should be helpful to you. Okay, and you have created a number of test cases, right? For example, you have created 100 test cases. Out of 100 test cases, you can group something, right? 10 test cases are part of smoke test case, 10 test cases part of sanity test case, or 50 test cases part of regression testing. So if you decide, if you want to group those things also, you can do easily with the help of TestNg. Okay, and you have created one test case. The same test case you want to run with different kinds of test data, right? Same test case if you want to run with different kinds of test data, right? Instead of hard code, right? So you want to test the same test. For example, login test case is there. So there is in the login screen, what are the things you will have? Login button, username, password, and submit button. So that is the screen you can see. But with the different kinds of test data, you can check whether the test case is passing or not, right? For example, what is the positive scenarios? You passing the correct username, correct password. Are they right? Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So data driven testing, in a sense, you have only one test case. The same test case you are executing multiple times with different kinds of data, different set of data, right? One time you are passing correct username, correct password. Then what you should happen? It should log into application and should navigate to home page. That is one scenario. Test case is same. Once again, I am passing different data. What is this time? I am passing correct username, wrong password. This is the negative scenario. What should happen when you are passing correct username and wrong password? It should not navigate to home page. It should be within the same page with error. So we are testing the same test case. This time second data, right? Second set of data. Now one more time, because I want to test all scenarios, all combinations. What are the possible combinations are there to test a test case? I would like to test all combinations. In these scenarios, you can go for data driven testing. This time, this is the third set. What is the third test set? This time I am passing wrong username but correct password. What should happen? This is also wrong combination. Negative test case. It should be within the same page. What is the expectation? When you are passing wrong credentials, it should be in the same page. It should not go to what page? Home page. Okay. So this is the data driven testing. We can do data driven testing also with the help of TestNg. Okay, this picture always you should remember. One is why we are using the TestNg. First, we to write the test cases, to write the test cases and execute the test cases. We use the TestNg. Apart from that, we have other features also. What is that? Test annotations are there. With the help of test annotations, we can execute the test case. We can control the workflow of a automation framework. Right? It will help, and we can group. For example, today I have a build, right? So I want to go ahead. First, I want to go ahead with regression testing, right? So before regression testing, just your lead will ask you, okay, boss, first run that smoke test, because first smoke test is passing, then go ahead with the regression testing. That kind of condition should be there. So then how you have 100 test cases, then you need to group them. Okay, smoke test cases, 10 test cases, regression testing, all 100 would be part of regression testing. So you need to decide, you need to grouping. So grouping also is possible with the TestNg. Okay, and then data driven testing. Data driven testing, what is the meaning of data driven testing? Testing a single test case with a different set of data, with all combination of positive and negative scenarios with the same test on the same test case. You have created only one test case, but you are passing different set of data. The number of records you pass, those many times the test case will execute. So that is the data driven testing, right? And parallel testing. Parallel testing is one of the key feature provided by TestNg. Any idea? Do you guys have any idea about parallel testing? Parallel testing. What is the meaning of parallel testing? Parallel. Do you do any task
Yes, sir.
parallelly?
Doing 2-3 words at same time. Yes, sir. Doing 2-3 words at same time.
What you will do normally?
I can work and listen to music. I can work and listen to music.
Some people, while eating, they will eat, and at the same time they will watch the TV. All the serials they will cover. Right? So that is parallel task. The same way, in automation, right? We have, might be in my automation suite, I have 300 to 400 test cases are there. So each and every test case, on average, it will take 1.5 minutes. Let's assume, right? So 400 test cases, 1.5 minutes. How much time it will take? This is very important question. They will ask you when they are not confident. They will ask this question: how many test cases you have in your automation suite? You can say 350 or 350 above test cases are there. How much? What is the execution time? On average, each and every test case is taking 1.5 minutes. Then how much execution time? 525 minutes divided by 525 8 hours. Okay, how much time it is taking? Around 9 hours of execution time it is taking. Yes or no? So whole one day for execution. So what they will do, they will expect very quickly. They won't wait whole day for the automation execution. So instead of doing that, so one person is doing this, right? If 4 persons is working parallelly, what will happen? In how many hours we can complete the test execution? If 4 persons are working, one person is working 8.75 hours he will do. 9 hours he is taking. Then 4 persons are working, then 2 hours. Because 4 persons parallelly sharing the task and they are working. Right? All 4 members. 9 members are working, 1 member is working, he is taking 9 hours. 4 members are working, then how much time? 2.25 or something, right? So like that. So you got the benefit, right? When parallelly doing the task, parallelly you will take 4 browsers. In 4 browsers, the execution will, one test case in one browser, second test case in another browser, third test case. Parallelly, all together, for all for 350 test cases you are executing. So what is the advantage? You will reduce the execution time. Very quickly you can execute and you can give the execution results. Yes or no? That is the parallel testing. Parallel testing also possible with the TestNg. Okay. And another one is, if you have some test cases, for example, you executed 350 test cases, out of 350 some network issue or something, your network is very slow, so because of that might be some test cases you got more failed test cases, because that is not your script problem and that is not it is not a bug also. Application is working good, but due to some network problems you got some failures, additional failures. So out of 350 you got 80 test cases failed and other 270 test cases pass. So what you need to do? You need to rerun that failed test cases, because you know, okay, these many test cases won't fail actually, generally, right? So in that scenario, if I want to run only failed test cases, is there any provision in my TestNg, in my automation framework? Yes. If you want to run only failed test cases, you can easily do with the help of TestNg. Okay. So retry logic, retry analyzer would be there. So you can rerun that failed test cases also. This is also one of the key feature. What is the key feature? Parallel testing and retry logic. You have out of 350 test cases, okay, you said 70 test cases are failed, then I want to rerun only failed test cases. Is there possibility or not? Yes, it is there in TestNg. So only failed test cases you run. How? There is failed test cases, there is one TestNg XML file, separate TestNg XML file would be generated. Just run that failed test cases. That's it. Got it, right? So these are the key features of TestNg. This is very highly important question. Okay, when they are asking about TestNg, do you know TestNg? Yes, I know TestNg. What is the purpose of the TestNg? To write the test cases and perform the executions. Okay. And TestNg parameterization. Do you know what is parameterization? For example, parameterization in the sense you have one test case. The test case needs the test data, right? Username, password. Instead of hard coding, up to now we are doing hard coding, right? You are entering, you are sending that send keys directly. In the send keys directly you are writing what is my username, what is my password. So instead of writing the test data directly, hard coded way, so you should pass the test data in, you should prepare the test data in Excel sheet or JSON files. Okay, maximum people in testing, they used to write in Excel sheets. So we need to prepare the test data in Excel sheet. That test data, whatever the test data we prepared in Excel sheet, that test data we need to pass to our test case. How we will pass? Through parameterization. Okay. So these are the features of a TestNg. These are the benefits you will get through TestNg. Okay. Can somebody sum up?
Sir?
Can somebody give
Parameterization
some
మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి
introduction? What are the
చెప్పండి
things you understood? Yeah, tell me.
సార్
Hmm.
అవును సార్
Yes, Shravani, చెప్పమ్మా.
పారామీటరైజేషన్ మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి చెప్పండి
ఇప్పుడు ప్రతి ఒక్క టెస్ట్ కేస్కి టెస్ట్ డేటా ఉండిద్ది, అవునా?
ఎస్ సార్ అవును సార్
ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, you will take login screen itself. In the login screen, what is the test
Yes,
data? Username and password, right? You are expecting from the user, okay, you pass the username and password, then he will click on the submit button, he will validate,
ఎస్ సార్
right? For example, this is the test data, Excel sheet. The test data would be here in Excel sheet. You can prepare Excel sheet like this. Username, password, what is the expectation? Expectation also you can pass, right? Username is, for example, if it is correct username, something user1 I am passing, pass equals to pass1, okay, pass1 I am passing. So this is the correct username. What is the expectation? User should navigate to home page. Okay, for the same test case I am passing another set of data. User 1 correct, password is something wrong password. User is inside the within the page. Okay, so this is the okay this one is the wrong. So this is the test data, right? Where is our so our test cases, if you want to pass the test data,
ఓకే
see here login test data. This is the parameterization. I am passing some test data file here. Okay. So instead of directly hard coding, directly, if you see here, I am directly now I am getting the test data from Excel sheet. I am reading the test data from Excel sheet and passing the test data here. Right. Instead of that, normally what we used to do, directly we are writing the username and password here itself. Right? Normally what is the username? User 1 is the username, pass 1 is the password. So instead of doing hard code, so if you are passing the test data from outside, means from Excel sheet, so here you can change the data at any time, right?
Yes, sir.
So that is the provision. That one also you can pass for the TestNg parameterization. That is called parameterization. You can pass the data through parameters, right? So all those things we will see. but we are just discussing
Test
about the
annotation, parallel
features.
testing,
So
test-driven
what are the
data,
features we have discussed now?
XML sheets. We can insert data through XML sheets.
Anybody can tell something.
Test annotation, parallel testing,
Hmm.
test-driven data,
Hmm. Hmm.
XML
Sir,
sheets. We can insert data through XML sheets.
Data driven
testing
testing. That is called data
a
driven testing.
single different set of data.
Okay. What is data driven testing? You are understanding? Malli?
Testing test
Malli?
cases with a different set of
What is
data.
data driven testing, Malli?
Testing a single different set of data.
Single different set of data. So this is
Testing
the
test cases with a different set of data.
so this is one test case, okay. Username, password. What is the correct username password for this? Whoever, whatever the registered users. Okay. Who? How many people are registered to Nope Commerce? Can you tell somebody's username and password here? Who are registered? Daily you are doing Nope Commerce, right? Can you tell some?
Not registered, sir.
What? No answer from anyone. You are not using Nope Commerce application for execution purpose. Are you doing or not doing?
No, sir.
Not registered, sir.
Not registered. You created test cases also, na? Malli, you don't have any, you didn't register any time? You guys have written n number of test cases. You are saying no. Okay. For example, here is a username and pass 1 2 3. This is one set of data. Executing this test case one time. Okay, it is unsuccessful. This time I am trying with the same here, same different set. User 1 correct, Rakesh is correct, pass 2. This is also wrong. So the same test case I am trying with a different set of data. That is the data driven testing. So all these features we will see in couple of classes. Okay. First at least you should know what are the features TestNg, why we are using TestNg, right? So and grouping, right? To group, for example, if you want to, you have 100 test cases. Out of 100 test cases, if you want test group, very simple. TestNg is very simple one. Just for example, see here, I want to create, this is one test case. I want this test case under one group. Where is our test cases? Which one is our test cases?
Selenium automation testing.
So all these are the classes, right?
Yeah.
This is not TestNg class. These are not TestNg classes. Where is our TestNg classes, sir? For your branch, I am using in
Selenium
TestNg.
automation testing.
Selenium automation, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So here, this is not. Okay, let's take, this is one example, right? You have two test cases, right? One test case is smoke, group name. This is smoke test case. This is part of smoke. Simple, right? Grouping. And this test case is part of regression. Okay, you can group like this. So when you are running only regression test cases, if you want to run regression test cases, just give that group name is regression, then only regression test cases would be executed. So grouping, we can do grouping, right? Grouping of the test cases. That's it. Grouping in the sense very simple. Just at the test level, you just need to group name. Groups equal to any name you can give, right? That is a grouping. Data driven testing, single test case, the same test case. This is the same test case. When you are providing the data provider here, then the same test case would be executed multiple times. How many records are there in your Excel sheet? Those many times the test case would be executed. Same test case would be repeatedly executed with different set of data. Okay, those are the TestNg features. Clear? What are the TestNg features? You have test annotations, you have dependencies. Dependency in the sense, for example, you have multiple test cases. You want to set the priority. First, we can set the priority also. You can decide which test cases you need to run first, what test cases you need to run next. That kind of priority also we can do. We can give the priority and we can control the flow. Okay, first these test cases will execute. After these test cases, I want to execute the second set of test cases. For example, I have login test. After passing the login test only, I need to go to, I should execute home page related test cases. So which is the first priority? Login test or home page test? Which is taking first priority? Login is the first priority, right? So if you didn't give that priority, they will execute in whatever the order they want, they will execute. Right? If you didn't give the priority, what will happen? It will execute based on the some order would be there. ASCII characters. Based on the ASCII characters order, they will execute. Okay? So that is the problem. So we need to set some priority. If you want to control the execution flow, then you need to set the priority. Okay, first these test cases you execute. Priority 1 test cases you should execute. Priority 2 test cases you should execute next. Okay? How we can set the priority? That is also very simple. @test priority equals to 1. So always this test case will execute first. So how to set the priority? Like this. I am giving the login test is the first you need to register. After that you need to log into that application. Right? This how you need to set the priority. So when you are executing these test cases, based on the whatever the first priority you got, first that test case will execute. Whichever having the second priority, in that is just ordering of the test cases execution. You can set based on by setting the priority. Right? Which one execute first? That is the priority. First priority test cases will execute first. Okay? So these are the benefits we
Test
have
annotations,
with the
data-driven
TestNg.
testing, parallel testing, rerun test case, parameterization,
Somebody can
test
fastly tell
groups,
these
test dependencies.
what are the things you observed from TestNg.
Yes,
మళ్ళీ
sir.
చెప్పు ఫాస్ట్ గా.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
What are the features of TestNg?
Test annotations,
Hmm.
data-driven testing, parallel testing, rerun test case, parameterization, test groups, test dependencies.
జస్ట్ ఓవర్ వ్యూ అయితే ఉంది కదా,
Requirement
లేకపోతే
analysis,
మళ్ళీ వీడియో
sir.
Yes, sir.
ఒకసారి
Okay, sir.
ఓకే, బట్ ఇన్ డీటెయిల్ వి విల్ సీ
And
ఇన్ ద నెక్స్ట్
test
సెషన్స్.
design.
Okay. So what is software testing life cycle? Who will tell the answer? Shravani, can you try? What is
Planning, sir.
software
Test
testing life
planning.
cycle?
Requirement analysis, sir.
Okay.
And test design.
ముందే డిజైన్ చేస్తావా? రిక్వైర్మెంట్ చేయగానే డిజైన్ చేస్తావా?
Test design, sir. Planning.
First we need to do planning. Okay, what
Test
kind of test I
execution.
need to do, how I need to do. After that you need to come to test design. In the test design, what you will do, you will write that test cases.
Environment setup లో sir.
Right?
అంటే
Test design is nothing but writing the
User,
test cases, all those things. You will design the
yes.
test cases. Right? Now next,
test design, sir.
test design. Next,
Test execution.
directly you will execute test cases. Where you will execute? Where you will execute test cases?
Environment setup లో sir. అంటే
You need environment details. Otherwise, without knowing any environment, if you execute anywhere, then there is no use. For example, the development team is working on the dev environment. Testing will work on the testing environment, QA environment or SIT environment. Some names would be there, right? And actual before production UAT environment would be there, and production environment. Different environments are there. And what version of the application? For example, if you got old version, right? You got latest version, but you are testing on old version and you are raising some bugs. Is there any meaning? Then you will get left and right. Okay, boss, you tell these many bugs are there. They will say, okay, I don't have any bugs. Then when they will ask, what is the environment details you worked on, right? Then you say, okay, this is the application version I tested. Then boss, you need to test in the latest version, not on that version. So environment is very critical. To do any kind of testing, first you need to know environment. In which environment I need to test. Either dev environment or QA environment
Sir,
or SIT
we need to
environment
take the
or dev
screenshot and report
production
the
UAT
defect.
environment, where you want to test. So first you need to have that clarity. After getting the clear environment setup, then you will do execution. At the execution, what you will get? You may get some defects. When you got the defect, what you need to do? Java, what you need to do when you got the defect?
Sir, we need to take the screenshot and report the defect.
What you need to add the defect log. In the defect log, what you need to have? What are the steps you have the test case, right? In the test case, you have some steps should be there. So what are the steps you executed? At what step you got the error? What is the error? What is the bug? Right? So all those details you need to mention in the defect log, and that it will go to the developer, and they will fix, and you retest, and you close the defects. So with that test closer, if there is no defects, then we will close, we will give the sign off. Or if you have some defects also, okay, we will discuss with the business, right? We will discuss with the business, okay, business agrees, okay, these are the defects are there, these are the open defects, those defects we will continue, we will fix in the next cycle. These are not impact, these are not
sir.
severe bugs, right? Or easy, it is severe bug also, we can fix in the next. So business
Testing
will
life
take the
cycle,
decision.
sir. First of all, we planning the
Okay.
test, sir.
So this is the total software testing life cycle. Pravalika, are you there?
What type
Pravalika?
of work I can do?
Pravalika? Not there.
Uh.
Okay. Shivakrishna,
Sir.
what is the testing life cycle?
Testing life cycle, sir. First of all, we planning the test, sir.
ప్లానింగ్ దేన్ని బట్టి ప్లాన్ చేస్తావు? ఏం లేకుండా ఏం ప్లాన్ చేస్తావు నీ దగ్గర?
What type of work I can do?
ఫస్ట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ కావాలి. రిక్వైర్మెంట్ లేకుండా నీకు ఇది ఫలానా చేయమని ఎవడు చెప్పకుండా నువ్వు ఏంటి ప్లాన్ చేసుకుంటావు? బ్లైండ్గా ప్లాన్ చేసుకుంటా పోతావా? ఏంటి, ఏం చేయాలి ఏంటని ఫస్ట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ అనాలిసిస్ చేసుకోవాలి. నీ దగ్గరకి ఇవాళ ఏం టెస్టింగ్, ఈ స్ప్రింట్ ఇవాళ ఒక స్ప్రింట్ జరుగుతుంది, ఆ స్ప్రింట్లో నువ్వు ఏమేమి టెస్టింగ్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నావు? You should have clear requirements. Once you perform the requirement analysis, then planning. After that, designing. Designing in the sense writing the test cases. After that, you want to execute the test cases. So where you will execute? Before executing, you need to set up the environment. Once environment is there, then you can execute the test cases, right? What is the environment? You need one Windows laptop, Windows environment, right? And then you need application version. Okay, in which application version you are testing? Those are the environment details. And which browser you are testing? Chrome or Firefox? What is your file?